Hello, my name is Martin, and I'll be showing you the work that Team Dungeons Data and Dragons 3D has done. We focused on predicting the flow of people for public transportation improvements. We use the validation data on rail public transport. We put together the data of all the months of 2020 to get the data for the 2020 year. We focused on mostly the station, the number of validations, and the date. We did some exploratory data analysis. We looked at how many entries there were in each month, and we could tell that there were much fewer entries for the month of April, which was something that we had to take into account later on. We looked at the number of validations for these three stations, just as an example, and we could already tell that there were quite a lot of missing values in April. There is some seasonality, and also after April, after sort of the pandemic started, the influx of people was never really the same. We decided to draw some box plots, some monthly, day of the week, hourly box plots. Um, Again, you can tell for the month of April, there are much fewer entries. The amount of people using the subway during the weekend declines, and it increases somewhat sharply during peak hours. And this was for the Hospital Saint Jean station. After this, we decided to do a little bit of feature engineering. We focused on these subway stations. Essentially, there are subway stations at the end of lines, most of them. And our thought here was that perhaps we could add or remove carriages to the subway trains in these stations. So it'll be interesting to predict how many people would be there in the future. We replaced missing values with a rolling mean, and we also dropped the month of April because mostly all of the values were missing. And we also added here this COVID column where after the 14th of March, when the pandemic started, it contained the one to signalize that something was different. We trained an LSTM and it did okay, it didn't overfit too much. After the red line, you can tell what the result for the test set looked like. That's all right. This is for the in that station, and you can tell that it doesn't do as well. It doesn't do as well as predicting the peaks. This is the mean absolute error for those stations. You can tell that it's okay. It would be interesting to get the mean relative error. Our potential product was essentially looking at the prediction for the upcoming hour to determine how much you would have to increase or decrease the available fleet by in terms of percentage. Thank you.